Hello everyone. Today we will talk about modules. In JavaScript, modules help you arrange and organize your code. Instead of having everything in one huge file, you can split it into smaller, easier to handle parts. A module is like a file that holds code for a specific job. It lets you use the same code in different places in your program. Inside a module, you can have things like variables, functions, classes, and much more. Cool, right? Let's understand it with an example. When we link a JavaScript file to an HTML file. Here, in the script tag, we need to specify a type attribute. Set the type attribute to module. This is the only change we need to make in the HTML document. Now, let's create a new JavaScript file. Click on the New File button and name it as utilities.js. Alright, we've made the utilities JavaScript file successfully. In this file, we'll create a variable called moduleName. And assign the string EasyUtilities to it. We can export various things like variables, functions, classes, or objects. In this case, let's create a function called doubleNumber. That takes the value number as an input. This function gives you double of any number. Let's create another function called isEven, and also pass number as a parameter. This function checks if the number is even or odd, and it returns true or false accordingly. I want to use these functions and a variable in the main JavaScript file. To do that, we need to use the export keyword before the moduleName variable. Also, use the export word with the doubleNumber function, and also with the isEven function. After doing this, I can now use these things in the main.js file. Now, go back to the index.js file. To import the functions and variable, use the word import followed by the names, and enclose all the names in curly brackets. The name of the variable is moduleName. Next, we have two functions. The name of the first function is doubleNumber. Separate all the items with a comma. In the end, mention the name of the second function, isEven. Then use the word from. Inside single quotes, mention the name of the JavaScript file from which you are importing these things. Our file name is ./utilities.js. Now, I can use the variable and functions that we wrote in the utilities file. Let's say I want to display a message on the console. Use the command console.log. Our message is welcome to. Use a placeholder in the variable, which is moduleName. It will display welcome to EasyUtilities on the console. The moduleName variable is not defined in this index.js file. We are importing it from the utilities file. Now, let's try out the function. Create a variable named doubleResult. This variable is equal to the function that is doubleNumber. Pass any number of your choice. I want a double 6. Use the console.log command. As a message, write double. Use this new variable in the placeholder. This will display double 12 on the console. Now, let's use the last function. For this, we need to create a variable named isEvenResult. isEvenResult is set to the result of the isEven function. Pass any number, let's say 9. In the console log, write a message. Is 9 even? Then I'll use a placeholder with the variable isEvenResult. Since we know 9 is not even, so it should display false. Now, go back to our utilities.js file. There are two ways to export, named exports and default exports. Currently, we are using named exports. For instance, I want to export the moduleName variable as the default. Simply remove the export word from here. In the next line, export default and then write the name variable. Keep in mind that a file can have multiple exports, but it can only have one default export. Now, return to our main.js file. Remove module name from here. You can directly use the default export without using curly brackets. Also, you don't have to use the same name. Let's give it a new name, for example, my module name. My module name is imported from utilities.js. Use the same name here. This way, we can import a default variable or function. Go to the utilities.js file. We currently export everything individually, the variables separately, and both functions separately. Instead, we can export all of them at once. To do this, remove the export keyword from everywhere. At the end, use the export keyword. Inside curly brackets, write the names of both functions. Double number, comma, and then is even. We export non-default functions together, but the module name variable is exported as the default. To maintain clean code, we can export it at the end. This will provide the same output. Exporting content all at once like this makes your code simpler. I believe you might have a question. You can change the name of a default variable when you import it. Can I change the name of a simple export variable? Yes, you can. During import, if you want to change the name of the double number function, simply use the as keyword. Then, write the new name for this function, for example, myDouble. Wherever you use this function, call it by its new name, which is now myDouble. So, in JavaScript, modules help you arrange and organize your code. Instead of having everything in one huge file, you can split it into smaller parts. A module is like a file that holds code for a specific job. If you find it helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos.